£14,000 a month on Shopify. This is a business that started from scratch. You're in a really well-paid job and you invest £40,000 of your life savings into a supplement brand. And guess what? I think it's actually starting to work. Now, the guest today didn't really know me, so it took a while to warm them up into the wisdom that this podcast can bring. But let's have the conversation. Hello, campers. Welcome back to the Business Broadcast, the podcast designed to help grow your business. And here we are, JB.
Here we are, talking about IBS, irritable bowel syndrome and other gut-related issues.
You look like you're merging into that chair. Can you just stand up quickly?
Oh, I do.
Just show everyone. If you're watching here on YouTube, if you're listening on the podcast, you're going to have to go and watch us on YouTube. He literally looks like he's like a chameleon into the chair with this spotty white and red. What's them little spades on there?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. He's a man of fashion. Man of
Bit
fashion.
Of a character, you know, one of them guys who wears a crazy tie. You know those people that go, you don't have to be mad to work it, but it helps. I hate them people.
Yeah.
I hate them people.
But it helps. What are you taking a account about my time? Michael Frackerwick gave me this.
Of course he did. He's getting another free plug.
Yeah,
Shout out to the Frackerwicks.
Yeah, Gemma Stewart is our guest today. Tell us about Gemma, Jake.
So Gemma has been going less than 3 years and she is currently doing £14,000 a month in revenue. And she has got a postbiotic supplement. I think that's how you say it. So it's a postbiotic supplement that helps with guts related issues.
How'd you go around making one of them?
IBS, I have not got a clue. Hopefully we're going to find out.
Well, she got like a Bunsen burner at home and she's creating stuff in her kitchen and shoving it in her.
That's how it always works, isn't it? Yeah. Just bubbling away there in the kitchen up in Scotland.
Because manufacturing food, obviously something that I do.
Yes. So you create the IBS and she's going to fix it.
Well, why have more people got digestion problems than ever before? Processed foods, do you think?
I think it's got to be processed foods, hasn't it?
Janky.
But my little boy's, my littlest has got a peanut allergy. Haley's got gluten
the
intolerant.
peanut allergies, that's
stuff.
been around for a long time.
It has.
I think there's people.
But gluten-free, celiac.
Oh my God.
It's so prevalent now, isn't it?
And lots of Italians are becoming celiacs.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to Janky, who's my commercial director for all of the businesses. And we was having a little chit-chat. Very interesting chat. She was saying, we was talking about hair loss. Lots of men are losing their hair more now. Do you think that than ever before?
I wouldn't necessarily thought of just like an age thing. Like you get to the age where you know more people who are older, I guess I would have thought. But no, actually that makes sense.
I just wondered.
You've still got a good head of hair, haven't you? Still got your looks.
Not as much as you. You've got way more hair than me.
I've got a lot of hair.
I just wonder if processed foods have something to do with it.
Oh, I think so. It's got to be. If you look at like your standard, back in the day, like our nan and granddad's era, meat and potatoes was the diet, wasn't it?
And lots of fats.
Lots of fats.
Loads of fats.
But it was cooked at home primarily. You wouldn't have bought a sandwich from the shop. Can you imagine your nan and granddad buying a sandwich from the shop? It would have been like a luxury item.
Yeah.
Going out for dinner, start off going to motorways. Remember that was you won't remember, but going on like a motorway service station was like the big sort of first thing that people used to go and do. The Michelin Guide was to help people to spend more money on going through their tyres, basically, to go and drive around to go to the different restaurants and stuff. But they wouldn't have. But if you look on an average loaf of bread now, and if you can't pronounce it, you probably shouldn't put it in your face. And most of it is just
in your mouth. I think you were looking for there.
In your mouth, in your face. Yeah. I've got a problem with the sandwiches. What's that? It's made me go blind. We'll take the loaf of bread off your eyes then.
Yeah.
But yeah, you look at the back of it and it's just so much more than flour, milk. It's got to be that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's lifestyle. It's got to be lifestyle, I would say.
Absolutely. Maybe. Well, we can ask because she might know.
Oh, she will know. She was saying in the pre-chat though that Big Pharma is not saying that they were tackling this IBS thing, so she's gone about doing it herself.
Fine.
She herself has IBS. She's got other people with gut issues in her family. She wanted to scratch the itch, as they say in entrepreneurship.
There we go. So she's got some challenges in the business. She's doing $14,000 a month with no staff, I believe.
Yeah, by herself. She's got some great press. She's got some great awareness stuff going on. She's doing good. She's doing good. Challenge number 1, though, end-to-end ownership of all business in the business versus working on... Hang on a second. Flippity flip. This is a sentence and a half. End-to-end ownership of all business in the business versus working on growth of the business. I think challenge number 1 would be articulating what the challenge is. I don't really know what that means, but I'm sure we'll get to the end of it. Challenge number 2. Oh, okay. I feel this one. Agencies over-promising and under-delivering. Really common, and I've learned heaps about what I'm looking for now when it comes to working with agencies, freelancers or providers. Challenge number 3, navigating the funding landscape, grants, government programs. This is a journey I'm just starting on. I'm hearing about so many great grants that other founders have, but wow, it is difficult to navigate. I've since got some great resources and I'm happy to share them. She actually is part of like a little cool, like a little mastermind, a collaboration of people all helping each other in the e-com space. Actually, she was talking about they share wisdom and insights and stuff. You're a big fan of that, aren't you?
Other than coronavirus, where everyone got a grant.
Yeah.
How many grants do you think I've had?
None. And then you, sir, are missing out.
I just don't believe that they're worth the time investment.
Really?
No.
So I know someone who's based out of a NatWest accelerator in the Midlands, and they help all of the businesses that go in there. They will find them a grant for something.
Really?
Yeah, for staffing or for tech or for... There's so much government money around.
Not in my experience, so I'd love to hear those people. Please hit it in the comments. If you've got a grant other than coronavirus, if you're watching this on YouTube, I want to know about it.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, so if you're a business owner, in the comments, just type the word grant. Just let us know what grant
Mitchell.
you had.
Why grant? Leave it. No, if other than coronavirus, just grant. I'd just love to know. I just don't believe it's true.
Well, there's lots out there.
Yeah, but have people
Gemma's about to tell you.
If people are getting like £500, £1,000, or £2,000, I think it's better to put the effort in to go and get more customers.
Yeah, there could be something to be said for that.
I don't, if you're going to spend 50 hours trying to get £2,000, actually do 50 hours of proactive marketing.
Yeah,
you will smash the grant. And then the other point on the agencies, I just think you should be doing it yourself in the beginning, and then employ someone else to do all the administration.
In the beginning,
yeah,
really.
If you're doing £14,000 a month, she should be full-time marketing and employ someone to do all the other stuff.
Yeah, but if you don't know about like Facebook ads, PPC...
No. Come on.
What, you would...
Have you heard of this thing called YouTube? How to do Facebook ads. Watch 5 hours of it, you'll know most.
Yeah, but you're not going to do it as necessarily as well as an agency, are you?
Yeah, but unless you don't know the questions to ask, how do you know the agency's not sniffing your bullshit out? And I swore again, I don't want to do that. And this is when agencies over-promising and under-delivering. It's because you don't know what they're telling you.
Yeah,
you need to know.
Yeah.
The best analogy for this is being a family doctor, so that when you go and speak to the surgeons and consultants, you know that you're being sort of led down the right garden path, not the wrong one.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
So you would, just to reiterate, just I'm making sure that we are clear here. So you would do it yourself first and then employ an agency potentially once you knew.
And I did. When I was 20 years old, I employed a full-time designer and a full-time web developer when I had my small business. They were one of my top first 5 hires.
Yeah, but so you didn't do it yourself?
But it was done in-house, and I sat next to them, and I spent most of my time with them than anything else.
But how did you know what to get them to do if you don't know it?
Because you learn it, don't you? Or you trust an agency, which obviously hasn't worked out for this person, which, ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case.
As an agency owner?
You should... No, but JB, like, your best clients will be the ones that understand stuff to a certain level.
Yeah, that's true.
They will be the ones that want to get... we work with American Express. You absolutely know that I work with American Express. I've made loads of content for them. Do they use agencies? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do their team are very smart at marketing? Yes, absolutely. Therefore, they get more out of the agency.
Yeah, true.
So there you go.
Okay, fine. He's rested his case. So that's challenge number 3.
Where does she want to be?
She wants to, in a year, she wants to have launched product number 2. So at the moment, this is all coming. All these £14,000 of sales per month is coming from one sole solitary product. And she wants to have also secured some funding in grants, angel investment and other. Oh, okay. The angel investment thing is worth a conversation.
I don't again. Here we go.
God.
Here we go. I don't believe people should be giving up investment in their company for anything that's less than £1 million.
Is that right?
Why? It's just a cop out, isn't it? It's like,
so if you decide you want to,
I just need an extra 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 grand. Just go and get some customers and cash flow it and go through some toughness. then you will get the big investment. You should be getting investment in if you're taking money off the table for your personal wealth. If you're not doing that, it's too early.
Fine. Okay.
Well, I'll be telling her that. Well, she's probably listening.
She is. So that's in 1 year's time. She wants to have made her first hire and be growing the business with a view to launching product 3 in 2025. What does a business look like when it's finished? Vision is to building a lifestyle brand that solves various symptoms of ill health. For the symptoms we're embarrassed to talk about, i.e. no more poo taboo. That's a good tagline, isn't it? No more poo taboo. The goal is to exit within 5 to 7 years. Do you make the profit that you want to make? If so, what is it? 15 months of trading and it is broken even. All the money is being invested back in for further growth. Day to day in the business, we always ask what you're doing with your time. She says customer service, social media management, paid and organic. Oh, okay. So she is doing a bit of it herself. Finances, managing contracts and suppliers, and growth marketing and sales. And then she's got a bunch of questions that she'd like to ask you as well. Should we get the queen of no poo taboo on the podcast?
Yeah, I think we should get her to ask the questions.
Good. Very good. Oh, you weren't doing a pun there. Okay, fine.
What? Oh, idiot. Hey gang, we're going back to the pod in just a moment, but I wanted to tell you about Entrepreneurs University. This is a platform that I've created for entrepreneurs and business owners that are serious about growth. There's 100 video lessons from me on everything in business, raising finance, buying companies, property investment, and everything in between. Attached to each video is a downloadable PDF that goes into more detail about what we've learned in the video. It goes one step further than that because I've also put stuff that you won't get anywhere else onto Entrepreneurs University. The lessons go into way more detail, but not just that. You're going to get my business plans, my spreadsheets, and all the files that I use to drive the KPIs in my business. Just think about how powerful that could be for your business. And here's the good news. You can try Entrepreneurs University for free. 14-day free trial. After that, it will cost you just $49.99 a month. That's less than a pair of Nikes to grow the profitability in your business. There's a link in the video description, and I cannot wait to see you in Entrepreneurs University. We should get her to answer the questions first, and then we will circumnavigate the challenges.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Let's get on first. Hey, Gemma, how are you?
Hi there. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Lovely to be here.
It's lovely.
Really good,
lovely to have you with us. So give us we're going to do this in a slightly different format than we normally do.
Well, no, but I want two questions that I want to ask first of all before we do that.
Okay, we're going to do two questions first.
Can you
and then
ask that question?
Why can't you just ask it?
Well, because I think I'm going to be speaking too much, so you ask it.
Okay, Gemma, I've got a question for you if you don't mind, Gemma. It's just come off the top of my head. How did you get your first customer?
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, how did I get my first customer? So I've been running the business for 3 years, but I launched 18 months ago. And I think I got my first customer because I already had some following on LinkedIn. I probably had about 3,000 followers on LinkedIn when I started the business, just from like my wiggly career path before then. So I started telling people about my business there, started growing a mailing list, and I think I got my first customers through LinkedIn, really, because I guess that I built a trusted following there.
And what was your wiggling, squiggling career before this? How did you get into the world of gut health improvement?
Yeah. So the career beforehand, while some of the skills are transferable, my career beforehand was actually working in corporate businesses, so financial services, one of the big beer companies in the UK as well. And my job was usually around communication, so employee engagement, or communications around divestments, investments, mergers, acquisitions, that type of thing. Quite boring, stressful, grey buildings, grey hair, grey people, grey weather on the way into the office, that type of job.
One of those ones. Hey, do you know what I love about your website? I'm looking at it at the same time as you're talking. You've had 2 sales. Mm-hmm. 2 sales have just come through. Sion from the United Kingdom has just bought your products. There you go. We should update throughout the podcast.
Are they real?
I think so. Are they real? Are they real? Are they just?
Yeah,
they're real.
So it pops up. It tells customers that someone's bought it in the last 4 hours or the last 20 minutes or so on. It's all factual. It's based on an algorithm in the background. I don't, tell fibs about when I've got customers. There's no value in that. That's vanity, isn't it?
Nick Heel has just bought some as well. There you go. They're all flocking to it today.
Nick.
Flocking to the gut wealth today.
So how do you make the product?
So the product is manufactured in the UK by a manufacturing partner. You mentioned earlier in the pod there about it being whitelisted. No, it's not whitelisted. White labeled. The product it's a recipe that I devised, and then worked with industry partners to be able to make sure that it did everything that we wanted it to do. Had this flavor profile that I wanted, the right consistency, all that jazz. That's how I went about building the product.
What does just tell listeners what it does? So we're on your website now, so we'll try and put some. If people are watching on YouTube, we'll put some shots of that up. But if you're listening, because a lot of people are listening, it's like a pouch with a lid. Yeah. Sort of.
Yeah. So it's a liquid sachet. The flavor is citrus. What you do is you rip the lid off and then and drink it down. You don't need to mix it. You don't need to blend it. There's no fuss. So for people who don't have a usual morning routine, so some mornings they're doing the school run, some mornings they're going to the gym, some mornings they're maybe commuting into the office. It's really handy that it fits into whatever your lifestyle is. And so what it actually does is it has a beneficial bacteria in it that is designed to calm digestive upset, improve bowel regularity, reduce bloating, and then reduce inflammation. And then there's also some other vitamins and minerals in there that are all great for your digestion too.
And how quick does it get to work?
It works from the first time that you take it, but we would encourage anybody, because we can all have good and bad days with our digestion, depending on what we've eaten, our stress levels, how busy we've been that day, etc. We always encourage people to try it for at least 4 weeks to be able to compare a typical 4 weeks to taking it for 4 weeks. We all have good and bad days, so it's just a good way to make that comparison.
How did you come up with the formulation then? Because you said it's not white labeled. You sort of worked out the ingredients and then came up with an industry partner. How did you know this stuff?
Yeah, so I really didn't know this stuff. I was very much driven by a few different things. So around the time of wanting to work on this is, do you remember that big boat that got stuck in the Suez Canal?
We spoke about it on the last podcast.
Oh, the last one I haven't. I don't know if I've heard that one. When that was happening, I was becoming aware of products that I used to buy. I used to get some products from Italy and from France. And also at that time, we obviously knew Brexit was coming, and I was starting to realise that some of the products that helped me, I wasn't going to be able to get them as readily. And so that was one of the drivers as well around the time. So then when I started investigating what was in some of the products that existed in other countries that didn't exist here, and also at the same time online, I was studying at the University of Michigan, IBS management. So through that process, I started to understand more about biotics and started to get frustrated that I wasn't aware of this beforehand. I genuinely didn't know that antibiotics damage your gut health. I just didn't know that, and I had multiple rounds of antibiotics.
Does it really?
Rounds of antibiotics. Yeah,
because there's a lot of people are becoming immune to antibiotics now, aren't they?
So it's not necessarily they're becoming immune to it. It's just that, I guess that they don't work in the same way. It's because of overuse of antibiotics. And so because it essentially damages your gut microbiome, it kind of resets it. It gets rid of the good bacteria as well as the bad and neutral bacteria, or damages them. And so when I started to understand that, I started to connect dots as to why I was still feeling so ill with my IBS, despite making changes with my my food, my intake, how I was eating, when I was eating, reduced my processed foods completely, reduced my stress levels. I'd done all the things that you're told to do, and things still weren't there. And it wasn't until I'd seen, I think it was just on a YouTube clip or something like that, what antibiotics actually do. It was this big, massive light bulb moment of, oh my God, the antibiotics have a purpose, but they were poisoning me at the same time in a sense. That's what it felt like. Now, obviously, that's not a clinical diagnosis. It's not actual poison, but it kind of was this big light bulb moment for me of I think I'm doing the right thing by taking this antibiotic to remove the issue that I was having. I had an infection in my tooth, and it kept recurring. And then I realized that through all of that, I was kind of just on this, the dots all now connect as I look back, but it wasn't like I was on this path when I started out, if that makes sense.
Got it. Okay. So,
Yeah.
okay.
So you've started, and how did you get your first customer came via LinkedIn. So you've obviously created the product. How much time had you taken from sort of the inception of the idea, product testing, doing a bit of reading on the University of Michigan, all that stuff to work out what the ingredients were? What was the time scale of that, and what was your first run of products? Because often product-based businesses, the challenge is getting that sort of minimum order quantity to a level where you can actually afford to bankroll this thing to get it into production.
Exactly.
Yeah. What did it cost?
So essentially what I had started doing was I was not really telling anybody about what I was doing. I was working away on this myself at home. And I had this sort of path of I kept saying to myself, as soon as there's an amber flag on this idea, I'll stop. And I kind of just was investing my time and my effort into creating the formulation and finding the right partner to be able to do that, as well as doing the studying and having my full-time job and all that jazz at the same time. And then what I essentially did, which sounds really weird, but it made sense to me at the time, was I wrote myself a proposal of almost pitching to myself. If you're going to give up your job, if you're going to give up your time, your savings, etc., treat it as if you are an investor and pitch to yourself why you should do this. And I didn't literally do that, but I did put together a business plan almost as if I was an investor, and then was saying to myself and marrying up in my own mind of what I would be giving up as well as what I might be benefiting from this. So I would be giving up a high paid job with security, with great pension, all that good stuff that I'd worked really hard for, but it just wasn't fulfilling me. To then decide to do this. And then from the period of actually going through the building the product and doing the trials that needed to be done, as well as gluten-free testing and all of that other stuff that needed to happen, as well as speaking to trading standards. And I didn't know the landscape. I didn't necessarily need to speak to trading standards, but I thought you did. So I went through different government agencies to understand exactly what I needed to do. And any, boxes I needed to tick or forms I needed to fill out and all that type of stuff. And I kind of just kept moving forward to the next stage, was essentially what was happening. Then there came a point where I understood exactly what my minimum order quantities were, because
what was your MOQ?
Drove that. It was 58,800 sachets, what at the time equated to 4,200 boxes of 30 sachets.
And then, and what did you need to buy? How much cash did you need to do that?
So I think all in it was around £40,000, maybe a shade over, but it was all incremental small amounts here and there that then, well, maybe not small amounts, they seem small now, but it was 3,000 here, 5,000 there, that type of thing. And so I'm in a really fortunate position that I have been saving for a long time, and I've been planning to potentially buy a second flat so that I could lease that out in Edinburgh. I live in Edinburgh, one of the nicest cities in the world, and I planned to potentially buy a flat so I could put it on Airbnb. And I'd been saving money during that time to be able to do that. And
and then sorry, just so because of time, I'm just trying to dive in to make sure we get the best stuff in. So you got 58,000 portions. You put 40 grand into it. Where did you put all that stuff once you'd got it?
So I shipped it to a fulfillment center who would run that for me. They'd be doing the fulfillment so that I could then focus on the growth of the business.
What do they charge you to fulfill a product?
So I was with a different fulfillment company for the first 6 months, and they really let me down. After 6 months, they essentially said that we don't want to work with small businesses anymore. Get out, and that was it. So I now have a much better fulfillment company, Startup Logistics, who are brilliant. They charge you in a really flexible model. So they charge you for the storage, and then they charge you pick and pack, and it actually works out about the same. So I think for pick and pack, depending on the thing, it works out for them to pick and pack it. It's about 50p more than if I just picked and packed it myself and posted it, because they have such scale of so many units that they're sending out that they get it cheaper from the delivery partners that I couldn't get if I was just going direct to delivery partners. So it actually works out really economically for me.
Do you know what your gross profit is?
So I've literally just been working with my financial planner in the last week, and we're still going through that. So no. There was losses in the first year, though, significant losses, because of the way that I had to keep buying my product up front in order to then sell through, which is really the challenge that I hadn't really anticipated as a small business.
What's the shelf life of a product?
So first round of shelf life was 15 months, and I think we're now up to 18 months because we've been able to do like further testing to understand it. Yeah.
So what do you sell a sachet for?
So it sells in a pack of 14. So we sell in 14 and then 28s and obviously multiples thereof. So for a 14 pack, we sell that at $29.99. But typically people jump straight into the 4-week pack, which is usually on offer for around £39.99 to £45 there or thereabouts, depending on the deal at the time.
And is it vatable or is it non-vatable?
Yeah, it's vatable, yeah.
Why is it vatable?
I don't have an answer to that, sorry, it just is.
Well, I think you should, because if it's a food, you should definitely speak to a VAT specialist, because if you could remove the VAT, that might change your life.
Oh yeah, it definitely would. 20% on everything would be brilliant.
Well, you need to don't trust the person that just does your normal finances. You pay the money to speak to an absolute VAT specialist that understands food VAT. It might cost you £1,000, but they might tell you, if you put it in this type of packaging, or you call it this, and then that saves all the VAT, because most savoury food items have no VAT.
Yeah. So it's not a food item though, because it is a supplement. It's not considered to be. So I've looked this up before, and I'm just reminding myself there that because it's not, vitamin supplements are a supplement rather than essential for human life.
But it's worth talking to a VAT specialist to say, look, if you rebrand it, because it really, I mean, like I sell lots of ice cream that is vatable, but a cake is non-vatable. So, and we sell both, so you just got to definitely go and spend some time, because I think, I can't be sure, and we don't give tax advice, but I would definitely go and check that out. I'm just going to work out your gross profit now. So I can buy 40 off of you. Sorry, 28 you said, didn't
28 for 40 quid.
Mm-hmm.
So this is if I buy 28 off of you, so I'm just going to do 40 divided by 28. That costs me £1.40. That costs you £1.42 per item, and you're paying £1.45 for them. Am I missing something?
Yeah, I think you are missing something. I don't know where are you getting that it's £1.45 per item, because it's not. I think
because you bought 58,000 for £40,000. I don't know.
So, but that was all in, including like all the testing, all the other stuff that doesn't need to happen each future round. So that was like an all-in number. And also the pack sizes changed between now when I launched. So when I launched with a 30 pack, which I found really challenging. When I launched with a 30 pack, what I was essentially thinking was customers would just want to buy like a month's worth of product. But actually, because I didn't have all the social proof I've got now, as well as like, there's all these reasons why customers now have a bit more faith in the product.
Yeah, I get that.
Longer. There's lots of and to try and get people to sell into a 30 was just really challenging at that price point. And what I found is it's much easier to sell from a 14 to a 28.
I'm just trying to on the gross profit point, because I want to help. So if you buy 58,000 now, what does it cost you?
Well, I'm now buying significantly more than that, so I don't have those numbers to hand. I'm really sorry. I would have had them if I'd known.
If you're working, look, as a man that manufactures packaged food stuff, we sell millions of pounds worth of it through our ice cream company. We sell to supermarkets. It's a tough gig. if you're selling for other people, if you're in this unique position that you're selling an ambient product direct to consumer and you get enough volume, that could become a very profitable business. I don't know your gross profits. I don't know your numbers. The first thing that there's 3 rules of building a super successful business. Number 1 is understanding your average order value, which I'm sure Shopify will tell you. I'm guessing it's around 40 quid if that's what most of your sales are.
It's around 36 just now.
36. The second point is knowing your monthly profit and loss verbatim, more than you know how to make a cup of tea. You've got to know your gross profits, you've got to know your bottom line, and you've got to know it on a monthly basis, not an annual basis. That is the first thing. The second you get off of this podcast, you've got to understand monthly management accounts. Because I can't direct and advise and steer without knowing that stuff, and you'll never be able to. Now, if you do know them and you're a bit cagey about sharing them on the podcast, which some people are, but usually we don't have them on if that's the case. That might be, I don't know if that is the case, but you absolutely need to know this stuff like clicking a finger. And until you get it in your head, like it will be always a struggle. Especially because you want to attract investment. If you don't know it verbatim and you're really good at it, they will walk all over you and you will not get the best deal out when you get investment in.
Yeah, I understand. So I've just been going through a process with my financials with someone from Scottish, from one of the support networks that we have here in Scotland for small businesses, and we're really fleshing things out. And the reason I'm not able to share it right this second is I have got into a bit of confusion around, but that's fine. I'm working through it. So while you say I'm going to have to get off the call and go and do it, definitely couldn't agree more. Absolutely could not agree more.
Do you what accountancy system do you use? Do you use Xero, QuickBooks, one of those?
Yeah, Xero.
Yeah. So Xero, you go into Xero, press accounting, and then drop down to profit and loss. And you do it by month. No more annual accounts. You must be producing monthly accounts. The second anyone does that, they become more profitable, just because they're on it. The best thing you can do is, if you've got a bit of money, is you employ a bookkeeper that comes in and sits with you for 4 hours a week, that is going to prepare your accounts, not your accountant. Your accountant's going to be too much money. A bookkeeper will be £20, £25, £30 an hour, £40 an hour, whatever it is. They will teach you everything. And they will, and then you'll know so much. You'll become so powerful on the back of a really good old school bookkeeper.
Perfect. Really good.
You will live and die by gross profit. You need to know it.
Yeah.
You need to know it. Yeah. And all of this, there's some things that you said that I know that you don't know. You said, I keep investing my money back into stock. You've said that a few times, yeah? Like you bring in money and then you put it, but that's all profit. I don't know if you're aware of that. So your stock value is profit, and that needs to sit in your balance sheet, and you'll be able to check it to your P&L, make sure you're counting the stock. And there's a few things. So that's because one of the things that you said is navigating the funding landscape, grants, government programs. This is a journey I'm just starting on, and hear about so many great grants that offer founders that have been, wow, it's difficult to navigate. JB says he knows some people that have got grants. I've not really been in that camp, and I think whenever I have tried to claim grants over the years, I think they're bloody tough to get.
And there's quite a lot of innovation grants that are out there now.
If they are not,
and there's also platforms to help you find them. So I think in the past, what people would do is they would hear about grants, but the deadline's passed, or they didn't know the criteria, etc., etc. Whereas now there's quite a few platforms, particularly the banks, that you've mentioned, that list out those, and then you can define the criteria that you might meet, and then it helps you navigate those systems. So it's something that I think I haven't exhausted. I'm very aware there's a lot of people in the ecosystem here that I'm starting to become aware of who have access to lots of grants, everything from smart grants to innovation to grants that are for like underrepresented
as long as
people.
What I don't want people to do as entrepreneurs is spend a load of time waiting for all that to come in, and it's be a time drain on them from actually doing the proactive stuff that's going to get them cash flow into their business that you could do with your own resources. So if, as long as it doesn't take a load of time, then, you know, because I think if it's going to be 5 hours a week, like actually 5 hours learning about Facebook ads, or 5 hours learning about Instagram ads, or 5 hours of proactive picking the phone up and knocking on doors might get much better results. Like that's just my opinion. Or speaking at conferences, or meeting people that can actually possibly buy from you, or making more content. I just worry that lots of, you know, early year entrepreneurs are doing stuff that might not get them, because you need cash in now, don't you? Like a grant could be a drain on time for you that might not get you that immediate cash that you so desperately need to keep going. So that's that part. And then the third point is, the second one you said was agencies are over promising and under delivering. Look, I just think, you know, we talk about the 8 traits of great entrepreneurs. The best entrepreneurs are marketeers. You should be a marketeer of your thing rather than a doer, an operator of your thing. And in the early days of being a business owner, your primary job is you're a salesperson. That is what it is for so many years. And then once you've, you know, smash that, then you become a recruiter person that has to put a good team around you, and you want them employed, you want them in-house, because if you want to exit your business in 5 to 7 years, the most valuable thing that makes someone want to pay big money for your business is your in-house employed team. And that is what they're buying into. Primary number one is, who is the management team, who is running this bloody business, and that is what they buy into, number one. Okay, let's do the questions. JB's going to read them out, and then we'll attempt to answer them together. Let's do it, JB.
Right. Question number one that you had submitted was, if you're in my shoes, how would you divide my time on marketing and everything else? I think you just covered that off, didn't you?
Spend more time on marketing and getting customers than anything else.
Question number two was, what growth opportunities should I focus on in 2024?
Getting customers.
Well, let's turn into a quick fire round. Number three, PR has been one of my biggest levers in 2023. How do I build on that in 2024?
Speak to JB after this, and I would launch a podcast and put that on YouTube. Like, this is a content marketing game here.
Yeah, it is, to be fair.
Like, you've got to find the niches. You've got to literally go and speak at the opening of a packet of crisps. Bad joke, because you probably can't have that. But you need to absolutely, like, if you're not doing 2 or 3 things a day, and while you're getting really good at it, like when I first started out doing content, you do everything. You just use it as like exercise, sets and reps. You know, it's just got to be making so much content. That's how you've already seen the whispers of success on that anyway, haven't you, by putting it on LinkedIn. But it's like, there are some great, Tim Spector from Zoe, do you know who he is?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Very aware. And also I've done the Zoe app as well, like the whole process. I think it's brilliant what they're building and bringing awareness to gut health to like the masses, to people who are rich enough to pay for it. But forgetting all the Zoe stuff, but what Tim Spector has done, he is the CEO of a massively well-funded private equity. There's some serious money behind Zoe. But you got the bloke that's founded it. He is literally on every podcast. He's in newspapers. He doesn't stop, and that is the level of content that if it was me, I would be spending. Well, I do. I'm spending 2.5 days of my week now making content for a business that will do 30 million of revenue. I really think that is so super important. What's the next question?
Sorry, just on the PR thing as well. I think you can find some really, really good specialist agencies out there, and PR is a little bit more easy to judge the results of, because you could set them deliverables and KPIs based on placements of stories.
I think you're wrong there. I don't think you should be thinking about PR yet.
Oh, I think you should.
Well, I think the PR is Instagram and YouTube and podcasts.
I think it is all of the stuff that she's already had. She's had Men's Health, Marie Claire.
But all of that will come if you. What I think.
She's already had it though. Again, why would you not accelerate it?
Because I think you get more if you focus more time on making content, because then they will come to you, and that is a much better relationship. So all the PR that I've had, they've come to me rather than me going to them. Go on.
Yeah, we have to agree to disagree on this one.
Just to add to that, so on the PR side of things, whenever I have had like founder stories, etc., they tend to be my highest sales days by a country mile. But then also on top of that is that they then tend to become stickier customers, because the customer is dead about newswear.
So I'm not saying don't do PR. But I think the PR that you should be doing is the stuff that you control that will then get you the big stuff. Because if someone is a researcher, I mean, because I've done it, I've been in loads of them. They go, oh, we want someone that does blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for a lady that knows about gut health that I would like to write an article because the Sunday Telegraph have decided to do that. They land on your YouTube channel, they find your podcast. That is going to make your PR endeavours so much more powerful. But what I tend to find is lots of entrepreneurs go, oh, I've done some PR things and now I don't have to do the harder work stuff, which is make the podcast.
Oh, yeah, it should be both. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Question number 4 was, any suggestions for winning strategies for retention?
I mean, if I had this business, I would probably have someone... if they bought from you before, probably have someone picking up the phone non-stop and just saying, hi, we're doing an offer, or we've got this new flavour out, or...
I think community is really big at the moment as well, especially in the sort of the world that you're in, where people need and want support and they want to feel heard. I think there's platforms, like Stephen Bartlett's very successfully used Telegram to blow up his podcast, for example. I think there's platforms like Circle and School, which Alex Hormozy's just invested into. You can run them for free, but I think that community aspect of it, and people want to feel like they're part of a tribe. We're tribal creatures. If there's a way to add community in, I'd definitely be looking at that.
I think there's multiple points here to help you really grow this business. It's interesting that from a starting point that you've built up £14,000 worth of revenue from scratch. I think it's not many people can do that from a product supplement
business.
thing.
Yeah, it's a good game.
My advice would be this: if it was my business, I would be distributing it myself, because it will. And I would have a call centre person calling up all past customers, and I would definitely do text message and WhatsApp marketing.
Yeah.
Like reminding people to buy from you again. Don't just rely on emails. Everyone does that. They pick up the phone, send, text messages you can send for like 6p, I think. It's so cheap. We get great results. They have an 80% open rate. Yeah. Emails don't go anywhere near that. And then probably a Facebook retargeting campaign. You upload, all the people that have bought from you before, so you remind people to come back. And that's cheap, isn't it? Retargeting compared to like finding new customers.
WhatsApp would be mega for this business, actually. I think you're right. WhatsApp would be a mega. And if you use the right CRM system and software, you can automate all of that stuff automatically. So you can say, when a client buys, you can put a set of rules in. So message them to say your order's on the way, and then you could have like a delay on the next message that goes out for 20 days. Don't forget you're coming to the end of your trial, blah, blah, blah. Here's a special offer for month 2. You could do all that stuff. There's software there's a platform called Go High Level. Maybe Shopify does all this. I don't know that much about Shopify. But
Shopify's amazing, yeah.
But yeah, I bet they've got that sort of stuff in there.
And I think you should write a book about gut health.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, and the book, you're not looking to make money from the book. That's the way to get PR.
You should call it Gut Out of Your Own Way.
Yeah. But the best PR, if you're an author, you've got a podcast, you've got YouTube, even just stuff direct to camera that you do yourself. No fancy. You want to make sure the audio is good, invest in a good microphone. I think that's the most important thing. And you just make and spend an hour and a half a day making content, and an hour a day writing a book until you finish the book.
Podcast guesting, you should definitely do. You should be making your own stuff, but also I think getting out. If you go on to, there's a platform called chartable.com. If you go onto Chartable, there's literally a health and fitness category on podcast apps, and you can find the top 200, and you can literally reach out to every single one, Google the name of the podcast, you can find their contact details. And there's also there's subcategories within health and fitness. So I think you've got nutrition, you've got alternative health, so you've basically got 600 shows there you could potentially tap up to be a guest and speak about your expertise. I think that'd be great for you.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Just on the point that you said about me being in front of the camera, etc. My highest performing ads, my best performing ads are always ones that when I talk about my personal story, by miles, the return on ad spend's better, the engagement's better, the everything that you would want, and obviously the conversion's better. So I definitely think that my story is a bit that people hang on to because they don't feel heard, and I guess I didn't feel heard when I was struggling with my digestive health.
They say, don't they, facts tell, stories sell, and you're obviously a testament to that. People buy, and that goes on to your fifth and final question. What are your thoughts on you being the face of the business? I think you definitely should be.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Again, look at what Tim Spector's done. I don't think many people knew about him. Then he did Diary of a CEO.
But he's very good. He's very good on camera, and he explains so well. And because he's actually a doctor, so you need to get that expertise over and be quite curt and authoritative.
Concise. To the point. Factual.
Sweep. That's what he's very good at. And that's practice, though. You don't get that good just by making 10 videos. You've got to smash it. But look, you got a basis of a £14,000 a month business from scratch in a supplement product business. My advice to people would be, don't think bigger. It gives you a distinct advantage. And what everyone tries to do is outsource stuff. And if you're going for it, go for it. Employ the people, get the warehouse, distribute it yourself. But if you're looking to sell this in 5 to 7 years, you don't want to be selling a profitable job. You want to sell something that looks like an investment to get the best possible value for it. Who's the managing director? Who's the marketing team? Who's the distribution team? You want something that looks like an investment that provides positive cash flow. And you personally, your best homework will be understanding management accounts. It's not complicated. If you can put this gut health thing together, and you've had the guts to invest £40,000 worth of life saving in 58,000 pouches, which not a lot of people will do, there must be a being inside you that goes, yes, I'm going to move some mountains. My strong advice would be, build it so it's a commercially profitable enterprise that works without you in it. That is the absolute goal. And how do you put that in place?
Okay. So I've got some work to do then, don't I?
You do. You've ended up probably with more questions you got answers, but that is the aim of the game with this podcast. Actionable advice you can go and implement. If people have got a gut-related issue, they've got that IBS ache, and they've got the bloat, and they've got that irregularity, where can they go to get themselves sorted right out?
Well, that's a really easy one. They can head to gutwealth.co.uk and find out more about our product and make their first purchase. We've always got a first box offer on for customers to allow them to try it before committing to a full month. But I would encourage people to head there, read more about the product and see if it's the right fit for them. But I can assure you, if they want to check out the customer reviews, there's plenty in there. No matter what your gut issue is, then we're helping a lot of people live life a bit more freely from digestive health issues.
Amazing stuff. Well done you.
Can we just say one thing?
It looks amazing,
yes,
by the way.
The website
it's brilliant.
Is
branding.
Fantastic.
I did it all myself.
Did you?
Believe it or not.
That's very good.
Well, if you can do that yourself, you can understand management accounts.
Yeah, no, I think I can understand management accounts. I just don't have the numbers always off the top of my head. I think that's my challenge, is I know them and read them and understand them, but I don't necessarily have them ready to go at any given time. So
you do, don't you?
Definitely something I want to work on.
I think, yes,
you check your bank account every day, don't you?
The headline figures like gross profit, EBITDA, anyone that will be investing in you, them headline 4 or 5 things, like you just got to know, and you just got to just say them like you know what your Shopify average order value is, £36.38, whatever you just said. You just knew it, click of a finger. I mean, I think that's really important that it just comes out. And anyone that I meet that's a really high growth entrepreneur, they absolutely know that stuff inside and out. They can tell you that, just more than they know anything else in life.
Do you know what I also think it is, James? Is I think it is that there's a discomfort I have at talking about money.
Well, that's what this podcast is, and we let people on, and that's one of the clear things we say. Look, that we want people to be open and honest, because that helps the rest of the people that listen. No one here is going to be, well, there might be your customers, but like everyone can work it all out. They're not stupid. They can work out what your gross profit is, and if I understand, and that's what I was trying to work out. And do you know what? No one really cares as much about it more than you. They just, I'll tell you what it cost to make Rossi ice cream. Look, I have to sell it for that, but that's what it costs me. But my overheads are this. I absolutely get it, and it might feel uncomfortable, but for me to give you the best possible help, if I'd have known that stuff, I would have been able to give you a direction. I was trying to work it out. And
so my margin on my product is like about 65%.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Mine would be when we make products, it's about 65%, 60%, 50%. But I'm selling then to a supermarket, and and I've got massive big overheads. But if you're that's and you're selling it direct to consumer, that is amazing. And you should be proud of it. But you might end up spending 30% of it on marketing for the first few years, and you've put a load of R&D time into it. Don't be shy about it. If you're making 65%, that's where you need to be to actually make a net profit. Now all you need is a bit of volume.
Awesome stuff. Well, people can go and click the link in the show notes or the description if they want to find out more information. Gemma, we look forward to watching your ascent towards gut-based success in the future. Thank you for being on the podcast, and well done you.
Gemma, I think you should listen to some more of my stuff, and you'll realise that I am like this with everyone, and quite curt. But it's only because I want to help, and that genuinely is my aim of the game here. I want people to grow their businesses. I care passionately about it, and I think if you go and listen to some of and check out my main YouTube channel, I'm very open about my personal numbers and stuff, and what things cost, what's good, what's bad, and I think you could pick up some good stuff.
Thanks for that advice. I really appreciate it.
Awesome stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There you go.
Cheers.
There's Gemma. She's been on the business broadcast. Fantastic.
I've learned that when people don't know who I am or who we are, they've just been recommended. I think it's a very different conversation, isn't it?
It is a very different conversation. It's one of those things, though, isn't it? Don't talk about money, religion, or politics. It's a very British thing, isn't it?
Well, we don't talk about tax, religion, or politics, although we did.
We touched on politics earlier. The only thing we haven't touched on is religion.
Touch on it. We asked a very different question: is what church do you go to? No, we asked, will you vote? Which I don't think is politics, is it?
Well, sort of. By default, it must be, surely.
No, but we're not saying, are you a Donald Trump or a Joe Biden fan, are we?
I'm a neither.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a neither.
Now, that is verging on politics, but tax advice, politics and religion, we don't want to be involved in, but we do seem to get dangerously close to it.
Tell you what we've got to do before we wrap up this episode. We need to do the 8 traits of the greats. I think she'll score well.
Before we do that, though.
Sorry, before we do that, play the flipping jingle.
Before we do that, we must mention the Business Broadcast Live.
We should do that. Here you go. Do you want to? I think you should really sell it to me.
No, I think you should do this.
Have you got £32? Are you in London on the 10th of June? Or can you get your way to the capital if you are not happy where you are in your life and your business? And you should come along to Business Broadcast Live. If you've heard insights like E plus M equals S, entrepreneurship plus management equals success. If you've heard other great insights like it's like building a house without a set of architectural plans. If you would like to hear that golden nugget advice in your ear holes and in your eye sockets, live and in the flesh, you should come to Business Broadcast Live. 10 for June, 7 p.m. Only £30 plus vodka and tonic. It doesn't actually include a vodka and tonic. That's just VAT. I'm done. What do you think?
These two are laughing at you, and they didn't even hear that stupid jingle that you
I
played.
know. Just more to it,
just
didn't
you.
it? They probably
Yeah.
won't in the edit either because Sam will cut that out. No jingles. That's Sam. He doesn't sound like that as well. Right, should we do 8 traits of the greats?
Yeah, the 8 traits of the great entrepreneurs. So those of you that are new listeners to the show,
Oh, here we go. He's a little head bob.
is this your business marriage podcast jingle?
No.
It sounds like that.
No, it's good. I should do that though, shouldn't I? 'Cause then
Those of you that don't know, JB does a podcast with his wife called Business Marriage Podcast. So
Yeah.
that might get some listens now that I've shouted it out.
Yeah, thanks again. Saved another business head, guys.
There we
That's
go.
why I call him the Messiah of startups.
So we grade our guests that come on the show on 8 traits of great entrepreneurs.
I've got a list of them now.
Have you?
I've got a list, yeah. Right at the front of my, got my branded James Sinclair book, by the way. You can get that as well at Business Broadcast Live. On the merch table, you can buy a Bert the Burke t-shirt or a notepad. There you go.
Okay, so the 8 traits of great entrepreneurs.
There you go. You can have the jingle again.
Okay, first one, starting with the end in mind. I actually do
She
believe
does.
she is starting with the end in mind. She knows that she wants to sell in 5 to 7 years, although she's not doing the stuff that I think will help her get there.
But she's doing it.
She's doing it, yeah.
I'm starting a tally chart. I'm going old school, like year 1 maths. That's 1 in the
Number
tally
2,
chart.
passionate about their cause, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we've got that.
Don't need a jingle for that, do we? Go
Number
on.
3, untold amounts of resilience. Don't know. Has she been tested yet?
I don't know, but she's left a big fancy corporate job, backed herself to the tune of 40 grand.
Is that resilience or
58,000?
passionate about your idea?
I think it's both. I think it's resilient passion.
Okay, she can have that. Number 3. Number 4, they master relationships with people.
Couldn't tell.
Couldn't tell, so we can't mark that.
We can't mark that
She
one.
might have
NA.
So we're going to go
Not
no on
applicable.
that. Number 5, commercial awareness. Now, I don't know if she was trying to keep it close to her chest or she does actually know.
I think she's in an accelerator with RBS. She's worked in big corporate. I think it was finance. She knows. She just didn't want to talk about it. She's being cagey. But again, if we don't know for sure, we can't give a score. You know, that's what we say here. That's a good one, isn't it? It sounds like something you would say, to be fair. She can't have it. No, I'm not having it. No.
If we don't know for sure, they can't have a score. Okay, number 6.
Me and you are definitely getting a TV show, aren't we?
Yeah, number
reckon
6,
so.
they innovate so they don't evaporate. Oh, I think she's an innovator.
100%.
Yeah. Number 7, they're master marketeers. She just wants everyone else to do it, so no.
No.
They stay teachable and curious.
I reckon she was that.
Do you know what it was? Like,
She scored
I think she
5.
Was, I think she was quite. Who's this demanding? Who does he think
Something
he
is
is?
happening. That someone's put a post out somewhere about you looking for guests, and there's a few that have come on just to be a podcast guest, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. That they've probably looked at it like the hour before, and they're like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
oh what have I got myself?" I had a guy reach out to me. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I've applied to be on the podcast. Shall I do it?" I went, "No." I said, "You are going to get rinsed,"
Yeah.
and he cancelled.
But it's really interesting. I think they don't realise. If they don't know who we are, the people that watch and listen all the time are
Yeah.
very different to the 1 in every 20 that don't really know who I am.
Yeah. But you would if you've come onto a stranger's podcast and you basically get your ass handed to you. You're like, oh, hang on a second. I thought I was here to promote some gut wealth here. I didn't think I was going to get
this
an
is not a
interrogation.
promotion show.
It is
No,
not.
it is not.
As she learnt.
We are a show that helps entrepreneurs and business owners grow their business. In fact, if you want to come along and talk about your business and get it exposed to the 100,000-ish people that listen each and every single
That's
month
good
or
going, isn't
watch,
it?
oh yeah, baby, then you can absolutely apply on jamesinclair.net. Click on the podcast button, fill in the application form, and it's free to do. All we would like is you to be open, honest. We do ask you about your numbers. If that's not your comfort, please don't come on.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? That's fair.
Yeah,
You could get
because
an
we
hour.
want to help you to grow your business.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Is that it? You done?
Please like, subscribe. Hit me in the comments if you think we've missed anything. If you think I'm too harsh, hit me in the comments.
You weren't harsh there.
Oh, I don't know.
You weren't harsh.
You know, it's not exactly.
You had rest in bitch face for a bit of it, but you were fine.
I just want to help people,
I
JB.
know. You just look pained. You just want to help grow the UK economy.
It's very difficult for me to help people as well if I don't have the facts.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to work it all out myself, you know, and you know, Maybe we should ask for management accounts before people come on.
Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Would people send them? I think they would.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think they would, yeah.
Well, let's try it as a test.
If we was doing one-to-one consultancy with people in a closed room, this is free for people to come on.
Yeah, it's slightly different when it's 1 to 100,000 though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I want to help them.
I know you do.
And if I had the management accounts,
You
I'd
could.
be able to go, wow, you need to do
Or it's
this.
success.
Absolutely.
Right, let's get out of here, shall we?
Cheers, my dears.
Bye.
Thanks for watching today, gang. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now, look, we're looking for some great businesses to come on the podcast. If you've got challenges, but you're desperate to grow your business and you can't necessarily work out how to do it on your own, you'll be a perfect candidate to come here on the podcast. It's absolutely free to come on the show. Go to my website, jamesinclair.net, and there's a podcast button. Click on the podcast button, fill in the application form, and we'll do our very best to get you on the show and try and grow your business. If you're loving the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking here. And why not give this one a watch? I think you'll like it.